Do you want to get rich? Are you poor and you're struggling? Are you wanting to gain more control of your life? You can do this either slow or you could do this in the extreme like I do. Either way, a simple living life has great power and effect on how you're going to proceed for the rest of your time on this earth. Think about it, guys. Look at how much stuff is weighing in on us. Let's just look at the saying, the things you own end up owning you. That car that you bought, it's deteriorating. It's losing value, right? There's things that could break down. It can leave you stranded. These are all things that takes you away from your time, away from your life. And there's many things that we do to just complicate our lives. So whether you're looking to just really change things around, turn your life around, or you really want it, you just need to survive. A simple life, and regardless of what situation you're in, is going to help you, and that's what we're going to talk about today. The first thing I want to talk about, though, is the bull run. And for those of you who don't know what a bull run is, there's a bull market. That's when we just come in and everything's been going great, right? Like it has been for a very long time, many, many years. We've had supplies, right, coming in from China, India, Taiwan, right? So we're not manufacturing things. In fact, businesses will take their manufacturing areas to different places of the earth where they can get it done for a lot cheaper for a fraction of the price. A lot of people say, well, let's just bring it back to America. Well, which Americans are willing to work for those low wages? Right? Other countries, they don't really care. I mean, I don't want to knock anybody, but I'm like, there's people basically almost slaving away for nothing, for pennies on the dollar, while these people get rich in other countries. And then America, let's not get into politics about it, but bull run is everything's been very easy, right? And so I think a lot of us got fat. I think a lot of us got lazy. And I think in the stress of life, I think the complications is, I've said this before, is sometimes the conveniences that we have in life are the inconveniences. And this is all the stuff that we have around us. We never really had to really fight and work. And I know a lot of you guys that say, well, I work and I fight too. Hey, look at the Great Depression. Do yourself a favor and go look. There's a lot of things that the great financial crash, a lot of things that younger people haven't seen, a lot of things that I haven't seen. I haven't seen it that bad. The great financial crash of 2008 wasn't nearly as bad as the Great Depression. So I think that we have a lot of hedgings, a lot of problems coming our way, and people are starting to freak out. And you look at societies, what is that the saying now? I said it about a year ago, and it seems like everybody's saying it now. It's not my saying, but hard times create hard men. Hard men create good times. Good times create soft men. Soft men create bad times. They're just getting fat. Everything's easy, right? It's good times. It's good times. People forget where you come from, what it feels like to dig a ditch, what it feels like to have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, right? So let's move in if you were struggling first. If you're struggling, you kind of have there's no other way, really. I think the problem with, I know we have listeners from all over the world, but going to Americans, I think a lot of people through social media and stuff like that and mindset are wanting to project themselves to be more than what they are, right? And that this lifestyle, that if you're successful, if you drive that nice car and live in that nice house and dress accordingly, you are successful, or you'll be perceived as successful. And I always say on the show, do you want to be perceived as happy, or do you want to actually be happy? Do you want to be perceived as successful, or do you want to actually be successful? And that comes into not caring what other people think about you. Basically, not doing things for other people. That's a huge, huge problem I see going on right now. Everybody's trying to act a way, maybe so that you can date women or something. Look, I got an apartment, I got a house. Why would we go to extremes like Adrian did, where he lives in an RV park, right, in a stationary RV in a tiny house? Right? That was to some people, very extreme. To me, I was like, it was simple. It was very simple. I can clean my house in under like 20 minutes, but. So for other people, they're trying to keep up that show. So guys, if you are struggling, you really need to consider the power, and I do mean the power of simple living. And as we go through the show, you're going to kind of see why I've chosen the word power to put into simple living. So if you're struggling, guys, you need to simplify things. You need to get your work on. You need to start figuring things out. So let's just look at the instance of moving out of a house and into a tiny house. Now you've got, let's just say 2,000 square feet, right? Or even 1,500 square feet apartment. And you move into 280 square feet. I think that's what my tiny house was. And the level amount of maintenance of cleaning and things like that, cooking and all that's still the same, but your power, right? Your utilities. When it got cold, that place heated up really fast with a little space heater, really fast. And it was for pennies on the dollar. A lot cheaper than heating up an entire 1,500 or 2,000 square foot home. So the point I'll make it short here is that if you are struggling, you need to get your life together. You need to turn things around. And the way to do that is to get less complications, a lot of less things in your life that you have to maintain and do, right? And bring that cost of living down, that overhead down low. So your rent is for instance, right now in this time, guys, I'm paying 4 times as much as I would for that tiny house space. 4 times, right? Let's just make it simple, $1,000 a month. Now let's look at $4,000 a month. I don't know where everybody's at, what you're doing, but just to give a general idea of kind of what's going on in California, right? So my overhead was super low. I didn't have to clean a lot of things. So that afforded me to sit down and regain strength in my mind, my body, because around me there was not a lot of things to fix. Everything was very simple. So instead of putting the attention, and I think this is an attention game, whether you're looking to get rich, which is the subject matter next, or you're poor, take an inventory of where your time is going. What is happening in your life? What is stressing you out, right? You have one day, like for me, I take one day off a week. I got my barbecue Saturdays. Sunday's chore day. My chore day, living in a house now, is way beyond what I used to do in the tiny house. In the tiny house, within 4 hours, everything was done. The chores were done. I could spend that next half of the day planning my escape or planning my success. What am I going to do? How much money do I have? Where do I want to go? How do I want to spend that money? How do I even know about investing? Let's spend that 4 hours of listening to ebooks, right? Or reading books, educating ourselves on how to invest or how to make money, how to budget, how to live even simpler, listening to a show like this one, right? Getting those things, implementing those things into your life, because the thing I see with people the most is that they're so busy. There's so much to do that the brain is clouded. They don't have time. Everybody complains about time. I just don't have the time. I'd love to exercise. I'd love to do this. I'd love to do that, right? So that is the power of simple living. And we'll talk about how to start it out and starting out slow and starting out extreme. So if you're going to get rich, so a lot of people say, oh, well, let's look at what Elon Musk said. Elon Musk said, if you're going to do something, right, let's see if we can figure out how to do it in half the time. Especially if you're towards the middle part of your life in your 40s or something like that, or in your later 30s, right? You kind of pissed in the wind, and when you're younger, partied away and had a great time. I mean, I did the same, guys. I'm in the position of in midlife here, and now I've got to get my stuff, my crap together, right? So if you're looking to get rich or you're already on the ball, let's look at what Elon Musk was saying. How can I basically simplify things, and then how can I expedite? How can I do things twice as fast? Right? To set all these things in motion. So in order to do that, you have to start dropping things away, right? If you have children, right, you can't neglect your children, but they're going to take a lot of time of your day. If you have a dog, remember, a lot of people who follow me probably know, when I had a dog, half-hour walk in the morning, half-hour walk in the evening, half-hour when I got home to spend time with her, right? But let's just simplify it, make it an hour. Every single day of my life, every week, 7 days a week, 1 hour at least. So I'm going to say like an hour and, I don't know, some change, so we can make this sound good as a work day. Think about that. An hour every day, plus a little bit of change. That's an 8-hour work day. That's a complete day every week that you spent just with your dog. I'm not talking about don't get a dog, you have a dog. Just take inventory. All that time spent, a whole 8 hours of work. Now, my dog passed on. I miss her and everything. Would I get another one? Not at this point. But I'm looking in life. I got a full 8 hours to apply towards, let's say, investing or something like that. So if you're rich, to me, I see a lot of people start to begin to make money, right? And then what is the thing that everybody does? If you watch statistics and you understand about why the rich go broke and all these kind of things, there's actually a really cool book, Why the Rich Go Broke. What you're going to see is that everybody, once they get a pay raise, they start making more money, they want more high quality of life. So they get a better car, a better house, right? They just up their game. And as they're upping their game, what are they doing? there's more cost. The overhead goes high to spend for that house, for that nice car, for those fancy clothes. What if you stayed simple? In fact, you went extremely simple. And if you're into real estate investing, I think this goes with anything, stocks, whatever, all that money you're saving. Let's go back to what I said. I'm paying 4 times as much money in a house than I was in a tiny house. That leaves me $3,000 a month to invest in whatever. Multiply that times 12, see how much you could save in a year, times 6, how much you could save in half a year. How you could start investing these things into stocks, bonds, saving up to buy that first house, right? And don't even move into that house. Fortunately, you'd have to come up with 20%, I believe, to put down, depending on where you're at. But if you're real estate investing, you can buy one house, still stay in that tiny house, simplify your life. Off that, fix that thing up, spend all that $3,000 a month that you were making, right? And keep fixing up that house, maybe put some ADUs, some auxiliary dwelling units on it. You've taken one house, you've turned it into 3 rentals. That place is cash flowing. The lenders are going to look at you now and say, wow, this is like a business. Like you just took this house that not only has 3 cash flows, that's making more than the mortgage payment, and it ain't going anywhere. Plus, you brought up the value of the house by adding these auxiliary dwelling units and all the fixer-up, the things that you did, the improvements you made. You took a house that was $500,000, and that thing's worth about $800,000 now, right? So then you hopscotch to another one. So instead of spending all that time and money trying to look rich and be rich, why would you not consider living extremely simple and investing in all that to where now you've been in the tiny house. Everyone was laughing at you, right? Yeah, you live in a tiny house. You don't even have a house, man. Yeah, but I own like 10 houses now. And now, in say a decade, I own 10 houses, and I'm able to retire for the rest of my life. Maybe I'm 40 years old. I spent 10 years living in a tiny house, and I got 10 properties. I'm 50 years old now, so unlike everybody else who's living on the hog, right, the bull run, looking the part, here you are where you say, well, you know what? I think I'm actually going to finally buy a house. But I have all this cash flow where I never have to work, and I did it in half the time because I had 50% more money by living simple to invest. But I see people where I'm like, why would you keep working? Well, I mean, how much is enough, right? That's one of my questions is like, if you're able to invest in these things, get these investments going, I wouldn't be buying a Ferrari. I'd buy a whole bunch of houses, make sure I got such a crap toad of income coming in. And then I would just travel or sleep in, do whatever the heck I want. Or maybe just, start investing slowly instead of working your rear end off so bad. So yeah, as I said, guys, this gains more control in your everyday life. And I think a lot of people don't have control. There's a lot of things that are controlling them. So the simple life really, really helps you to gain that focus, gain that control. And you can switch this up, right? You can go slow. Like I said, just if you want to get rich, you can bust hump. But at any time, unlike, I guess this is a really good point. Once you're invested in something like, say, a house, a business, all these things, once you put all your money and once you've been working hard, you can't just walk away. When I travel around and meet people, right, when I go on my mini retirements camping for 2-3 months out of the year, people ask me, how long you staying for? And I say, well, I don't know, until I run out of food and water, and then we'll go get supplies, either go to another place or come back. And they're like, what do you mean? How could you do this? Right? And I explained to them, and they're like, oh my God, I'm only here for like 2-3 days. I got to get back to my business, or I got to get back to my job, back to school, whatever it is. They're like, God, I just wish I could have that freedom. I would give anything to just walk away from all of it. Right? So that it gains a heck of a lot more control, and you can stop it. The thing is I guess the good point to make is once you're invested in something like a house, a rent, right? You got a lease or a mortgage or something. You can't just back off and walk away. That's what's nice about simple living. It doesn't have to be tiny living, right? RV living and stationary RV living and all that. It's month to month, and you can always go back. It's hard to get out and go backwards than it is to move forward. So I love having that control of my life to say, well, is this something I want to do? Yes or no? Weigh it all out and have the time to think about it and make a good educated decision. So you can start off slow, guys. Like I said, you have full control. You can go as slow as you want. You can go as fast as you want. To me, start eliminating things out of your life, right? Don't go get rid of your dog if you got one. If you're one of those type of people, shame on you. You should not do that, man. Dogs are special beings, and you are breaking their heart. Those dogs need affection, and it's so sad to see people just give away their pup. It's like a family member. That dog loves you. You can kick the crap out of it, and it would love you to death. It would die for you. And but start going out slow, right? Start getting rid of things. Start doing that. Maybe some of the minimalism living, like start taking inventory of clothes you're not using, right? Just start simple and just put those on the other side of your closet, and just put like I do. And in my simple extreme, we'll go to extreme to slow. In my extreme life, I have 5 t-shirts for the work days. Those are all work shirts. They're all the same shirts. I've had them for probably about a decade. Oh no, I'm lying. I just bought new shirts about 3 years ago. Yeah. And so I have these 5 shirts, and as the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday come, I get to the last one on Friday. I put everything gets dropped in the hamper. Sunday is chore day, and that's when I wash my clothes, and I hang those exact same 5 shirts up in one side. I got a few nice shirts on the right, and that's it. And I don't really have extra stuff that I never use on one side or the other, because I got rid of them a long time ago. But you guys can see the example of this. And I don't have a lot of time to go in detail of everything, but I want you guys to take these examples, right? The frying pans. Look at the shirt method, right? The shirt, your underwear, your socks, your shirt, your pants, all these things. Get them all organized, simplify them, and start to go through your home and utilize those examples of silverware or your meals, everything, your commutes to work. Is there ways that you guys can carpool? Can you simplify things where you're bringing down the cost and the time? I think I've said this in one of my shows before. I'm like, think about if you carpooled with somebody to your job, and if it's just 30 minutes. I think most people who are poor work in the cities, and you're probably about a good hour and a half. If you live in Los Angeles, where I used to live, you're about an hour and a half, 2 hours ride. Think about what you can do, though. Let's just say extreme, all it is 30 minutes. Think about if you were able to write things down in that 30 minutes as you were a passenger. Somebody else is driving. You don't have to think anymore, right? You can spend that time just focusing while you're sitting in traffic instead of staring out the windshield, writing things down, planning your escape, planning your success. Or how about you want to get rich, right? And then let's add that in for your dog every day, right? Remember that example? 30 minutes to work, 30 minutes back. Let's just say you do it. If you've got 5 people, you only got to drive one day, right? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 hours round trip, 4 hours, half of a work day for you to sit from Monday through Thursday, let's just say, to either research things on your phone, write down notes, educate yourself, read a book, and then you're only asked one day a week to drive everybody where it's your turn. And even in that, you can put your earphones in and start listening to podcasts like this one or reading ebooks. So an extreme, I said for me, guys, I'm in a house now. We're sleeping on, I put mattresses on the floor. We used to live in a tiny house. I still haven't built beds or bought beds. I don't really see the use of it right now. Maybe I've got a lot of more important things to do, but I have that control still in my life. And some people see this as extreme, and I don't really see how it's extreme. In other parts of the world, guys, I think the Japanese, they all sleep on the floor. In fact, to me, that's a little extreme on that little tiny mat. I'm old. Maybe I'm missing something, but like my back hurts. I need cushion. But guys, to sum it all up, look at all of this stuff. Look at this bull run. Understand that we've been getting fat. We've been getting lazy. We've been getting spoiled. And again, what do people say? If you guys do the research, what do successful people tell you? The athletes, the economists, investors, people who got rich, the wealthy people, always be out of your comfort zone. Always be a student of what you are doing for life. Always keep yourself open to learning new things. Well, you need that time to learn these new things and practice all of these things. Go simple, start slow, or go full-blown extreme and take charge of your life. Don't step on the gas pedal of the vehicle of your life. Stand on it and grab the steering wheel and take off. So guys, to sum it all up, you gain more control in your life, and it's all up to you. In these hard times, simple life is the key to your success, whether you are poor or whether you want to get rich, whether you're rich and you want to get richer. That would be my message to rich people. Dump all the charades. Dump the big house and all that crap. Who cares? If your friends are going to laugh at you, worried about, send them pictures from the Eiffel Tower. Here's me at the Eiffel Tower, right? Here's me at the beach on a Monday morning. Here's me in Cancun. Here's me in Maui, enjoying myself, right? Go enjoy your life. You worked your rear end off. Not all of you, but most of you. And just enjoy stuff, right? And that's the whole point, I think, with the show and this particular episode. Life is short, guys. We need to start living. Why not just simplify it and do the things that you want to do on your time and have that control? Guys, that's the show. I hope this one helped. If it did, comment and all that lovely stuff. You know what to do. It's all down in the description below. Have a great one.